Okay. Hey guys, this is Jacob with the Mr. Addiction podcast, where we look at addiction through the experience and eyes of those who have lived in it. Today's a special day for me. I got my buddy Darrian. It's my former roommate, co-worker, um, unfortunately a Georgia football fan, but some of us struggle mentally more than others. So, Darrian, what would you say, just knowing you a long time, what would you say has been your experience with addiction, how it's affected your life?
Hey, thank you so much first off, thank you for having me on your podcast, man. I'm really excited about it. But how has addiction altered my life in my experience? It's addiction for me. At a young age, I'll never forget. My dad would smoke cigarettes, and I was so against it when I was a kid. I was, trying to be an athlete, this and that. And I just went to my dad one day and I said, man, why don't you just stop? I mean, it seems like it can't be that hard. It's just stop, right? And I'll never forget what my dad said. He looked at me and he said, man, you'll understand it when you get a little older. And of course I still didn't understand it at the time. And so, when I kind of got, mid-teens, I was about 14 years old, and I had a buddy who, influenced me to try smoking cigarettes, and I did, made me really sick, and then I kept doing it, and it was wild. A couple of years passed by when I didn't feel like I was addicted to it. And then before I knew it, I'm 16 years old and can't stop smoking cigarettes. Of course, that turned into other things like marijuana and alcohol and things like that. But after getting a little older, I realized that, man, addiction really does have a clutch on you once you're in it, and it definitely affected my life profoundly, especially when I was going through some hard times and I was drinking at the same time, and I had a feeling like, I can't go without doing this. I don't want to stop, but I want to stop, so it can have a huge, profound effect on the psyche of a person when they're locked into it,
Yeah, the shame, the guilt, the feeling of being in prison, and being isolated, and man, I'm with you. It's hell, So because of that, my second question for you is, what advice would you have for people who don't take it serious, maybe kids or teenagers or young parents, people like that who don't think prevention's a big deal?
Man, I would definitely suggest anyone that thinks that it's not a serious deal, or especially ones that think, I'm above it, like this will never happen to me. I would suggest that one, take a look at the statistics of people in any kind of addiction. It's a real thing. I got one more story for you. Never forget it. I was working at a restaurant, and then there was a dishwasher, a guy that I skated with a long time ago, and he was washing it, and I was talking to him about alcohol, and I was like, yeah, man, like people can become addicted, right? You think people become addicted to alcohol? He's like, oh, bro, alcoholism is a real thing. He's like, people don't realize it, but it is a real thing, and it will destroy your life if you don't watch out for it. And for me, that was like a ringing bell. That was like a ding, ding, ding kind of moment. For me, I was like, I'm already drinking almost every day at this point. and it hit me, and I'm like, oh man. And you look around at a lot of homeless people, and you realize, and he said it also, that more than half of the homeless population are addicted to alcohol. And that was huge for me. So I would suggest that people, really encourage their children while they're young to stay away from it as long as they can possibly stay away from it. That would definitely be my suggestion.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. It's easier to never do it than to try to recover or be sober your whole life. So I appreciate your time, man. And I wouldn't be a good Alabama fan if I didn't end it by saying Roll Tide.
Oh, man. We'll see you on the field, man.
All right.